Okay, so this is how we started. Okay, it's 7th day today, so I am not in a very good mood to let you guys go. But anyways, let's see what we have covered so far. So we started with discussion like what Flutter is, and we discussed the basics of Dart. We then explored widgets for the 3, 4th, and 5th days. Okay, and then yesterday we just discussed like how to create multi-screen application on the 6th day. I told you about material routes and how to make multiple screens and just redirect them to and fro. Okay, and on the 5th day we just discussed about state management. We just learned like how we can update a state of a widget, how we can get some data which just gets updated. So the 5th day still has much more modules to be covered, and that will be covered in the coming second chapter of the same drill, that is from intermediate to advanced. So let's see when that happens. And on the 3rd and 4th day, we were exploring widgets, what widgets are, how widgets are built, how you can create your widgets, how you can customize the widgets, right? And likewise, on the 1st and 2nd day, we just discussed the basics of Flutter and Dart. So today it's our wrap up. So this course was technically named as beginner to intermediate level, and I do believe like according to my point of understanding, like how much I have read Flutter, how much I have understood Flutter, this could be turned as a checkpoint, which we can term as the intermediary scale. Okay, so yeah, that's what we have reached. That's where we are right now, and I'm really happy that most of the people, they have been with me until this point, and that's really appreciated. So yeah, so there are a few issues we were having yesterday. I did not have my PCs configured when I was showing you to upload your projects to GitHub, right? So I will just share my screen and I'll just give you a quick demo about that if anyone is still lagging behind, right? Most of the people are comfortable using VS Code and they can just publish it from right there, like Vinu yesterday suggested, right? And those who are already working on any subversion systems or source code management systems like Mercurial, Git, Bitbucket, GitLab, likewise. So for them, I will just show you a quick demo, and the demo is entirely available on YouTube. So if you are least interested, then you're okay to do not give much attention to that. But if you want to know, then I'll just show you entirely, right? This is the first thing which we'll do. Secondly, I'll tell you how to create your application, like the basic APK build when it comes to Android devices. So the thing is, in case of iPhones, you cannot create a similar APK file, right? So there are a few ways, like people, they break the tool chain of the iOS devices and just try to implement their own code snippet, but that's not suggested because, like in Android, in the case of Android, we have APKs, right? In case of iOS, we have IPAs. Okay, so those are IPA files. So these IPA and APK are nothing. They are just like compression formats, like ZIP zip or RAR RAR. Okay, so similarly, APK and IPA, these are the compression formats which just compiles and compresses all the files which your application code contains. Okay. So some people do try to reverse engineer things. So reverse engineering is something where you just extract the contents of a APK or an IPA file. So in case of IPA, that is for iOS cases, it's very hard to do because iOS has a very good obfuscation. Okay, obfuscation means let's say you created a Flutter project. Okay, you created a Flutter application, and you name your application. You create some widget. You name that widget as Flutter TechDrill. Okay, the name of the class is Flutter TechDrill. Okay, so when you release the application, or you create a build, or you create an APK for the application, so you have this flag. Okay, that flag is called obfuscation flag. So what that flag actually does is when it compresses your code files into a particular format, let's say it's APK or IPA. So in these cases, it just renames the names of class into some gibberish. Okay. So let's say the name of my class was Vinu. Okay. Name of my class was Rajiv. Name of my class was Varun. So what obfuscation will do, it will just rename it with some kind of gibberish. It will just name it like Varun will be something XYZ, something like that, some random string. Okay. So whenever some other hacker or some person who is doing testing or security testing kind of thing. So whenever he'll try to reverse engineer your application, he will be able to see the names of class in a gibberish format. He will never be able to realize like what was the exact name of that class from which you were accessing this component. Okay, so these are the basics of creating like your the build file. You can say the executable build. That's in our case in IPA and Android APK. Okay, so I hope I did not say something which just went over the head. Was I understandable? Can I get a heads up if I made any sense? Okay, thank you, Shubha. Yeah, so these are the two cases. So first thing I'll do is I'll show you the demo, like how to inject your code into a version control system. In your case, it can be Bitbucket, GitLab, or GitHub. But we can rename the gibberish to our own name. No, actually, obfuscation contains few set of predefined tasks. Like let's say when you create a sh file, right? Sh is something. It's a script. Okay, it's a terminal script which just runs up a shell script. Okay, so it has some entire like internal own algorithms. So, just uh, convert into gibberish. So have you listened? I'm not sure if you're aware about this thing called. Are you guys aware about this thing called paper shredder? Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, cool. So this thing is called paper shredder. It's a machine which is used in government offices and secret service organization to destroy the documents so that they are no longer in readable formats. Okay. So similarly, this is the same thing which happens when someone tries to reverse engineer your application, which has the obfuscation flag activated. Okay. So this is technically what I think is the best example of obfuscation of code, where your class names are entirely converted into this gibberish, so no one can understand it. Okay. Only you, the owner, will be able to get along with the source code and the project you have created. So yeah, this was just an analogy. So I hope I make myself clear here. Yeah, Rajiv, it actually does not. The information is still lying, right? But it's in a format which is not able to connect with the components. Let's say you have a class, okay, which is extending another class. There's a class called Varun, and there's a class called Rajiv, which is extending the class Varun. Okay, so if you don't get the exact name of that class, like if I don't get the name of Varun exactly, then I won't be able to extend it, right? So that's what I mean by obfuscation. The string is entirely decoupled, and you cannot understand that. Anyways, these are the two things which you're going to do for today. And I'll just show you how to create a basic release APK in case of Android. And I will actually switch on, let's see if it's possible in my case, because see, in case of generating IPA files, like in case of Android, we have APKs. In case of iOS, we have IPA files, okay? So for creating IPA files, you need to have a Apple developer account. And I don't have it as of now. I do have, but it's for another organization, and I cannot use it to showcase that because it's bound by its proprietary nature. Anyways, but what happens in case of iOS is that you can create your build, you can build that IPA file, and then you can upload for distribution in form of ad hoc development or different kind of ways to distribute the application. So the two ways. Okay. So let me just begin as of now. Just share the screen. Are you guys following me up? Like, if you have any questions, if you have any queries, if you have any complaints, if you have any issues with the visuals or the audio, then please do let me know in the chat. Right? Do I sound clear? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Varun. Okay, cool. Okay, so yesterday people were having issues with getting started with GitHub, right? So let me just show you how to do that. So yeah, these are few commands which we have to, take care in order. So let me just, I already have this entire thing assigned in my case. Okay, so I will just destroy first of all my existing state, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so there's one thing available in different operating systems. First thing is Credential Manager, or in case of macOS, it's Keychain Access. So if you have it already assigned, then it's all right. You need not to worry. But in my case, to destroy the existing GitHub account, I'll have to delete it. I'll have to remove it. Okay. So I'll just go to Control Panel, and I will type here Credential Manager. Okay. Let me just increase my screen size first. Okay. Cool. Is it visible, like my screen perfectly? Or shall I just make it, I think 150 is right. Cool. Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you for the quick reply. Okay. So I will just go here and type Credential Manager. I'll go over here, go to Windows Credentials, and I will go to GitHub, and I will remove this. Okay, it's because I already have it set up. Let's just remove this. Cool. Now I will go over here. I will open my Git Bash. Okay. Then I will type this command, which just assigns me to be the global user in this particular computer. Okay. So I'll just copy this, paste it here, enter. Then I will give it my email address, copy this, and I'll paste it here. Okay. Now I will go inside my home directory, and inside a hidden directory called SSH. Cool. So I will just cd ls. Now I cannot see ls, so I want to see all the files. So ls-a. Okay. So you can see there is a directory called SSH. I want to go inside this. Okay. cd.ssh, enter. So this exactly contains my SSH keys. So SSH keys are something which just allows you to authenticate your machine for a particular subversion system. Okay. So in our case, the version system we are using is GitHub. In your case, it can be GitLab, Bitbucket, or any other thing like that. Okay. So I will then run a command here, SSH Keygen. This is a key generator which will generate a key with respect to the current machine I am on. Okay. And it will be assigned to my email address, which is yashpathak@gmail.com. I'll just copy this. I'll come here. I'll paste and enter. So now this is asking me to create, to save the key. So by default, it is saved in format like ID_RSA. So RSA is a format. It's an algorithm which just creates a particular cryptic string for us. Okay. So I will just hit enter because I'm okay what it's already providing. And so the file already exists because I already had it in the past, right? So I will just override this. And for the passphrase, I will leave it empty. Enter, enter. Yeah, so now we are done. Okay. Cool. Now I will go over to my GitHub. Cool. And I will open my Gmail as well. I will sign it up. I will type my username, my password, and I'm logged in. Okay. Cool. So now I'm going to create a new. First of all, before creating a new repository, let's go to settings. In settings, we should go to SSH and GPG keys, and I'll delete the already existing one to show you a fresh one. And I will type new SSH key here. Okay. And I will name it Yash PC. Okay. Then I have to paste some key here, right? So I will just go back to my git bash. I will clear this screen and I will ls. And I'll be able to see multiple files here. And what I'm interested currently is in this file. Okay, because that's what we named it. Okay. So I will just type here cat. Cat means that I want to actually show the contents of this file inside my terminal screen. So I will just type id underscore rsa dot pub. Okay. So now this is my actual SSH RSA key. I will copy this. I will come here. I'll paste this. Okay. You can see my email address is there in the end. Okay. And I'll add. Cool. Now we are done. Okay. We have added successfully. So now our GitHub, our version control system will be able to recognize our machine. Okay. I'll come here. I'll refresh. I'll open this. And then I'll type this command to check whether it worked correctly or not. I'll copy this. I'll paste it here and enter. So it should say hello to me. Okay. So it's perfectly saying hello to me. Okay. So this works fine. Cool. Now let's add our project onto GitHub, the entire Flutter project, right? So let's go back here, create a new repository. I'm going to name this final day drill. Okay. I'm going to keep it private. I don't want any readme, git ignore, or a license for this. So I'll just create this repository. And here is the repository. Okay. So now I will just clear this up. I will go inside my home directory. And after that, I'll go back to my desktop here. Okay. And I will create a new directory. And I will name it git try. Okay. And I will go inside this. And now here I will create a new Flutter project. So we already know the command to create a new Flutter project is something like flutter create git flutter. Let's name the app to be git flutter, the Flutter project be git flutter. Okay. So I'll press enter. And this will create a new Flutter project for me. Okay. Cool. So now you can see here the folder is available. Git Flutter. I'll go inside this. Okay. I'll again clear this up and see the contents. So now I have four folders available here. First one is for iOS, second one for web, third is for Android, and a lib folder where we will keep all the Dart code and the test for widget testing and everything like that, and the pubsec log file and the pubsec YAML and this IML file and the README file, right? So this is the basic Flutter application which you create with the help of either with VS Code or either with your terminal. Okay. So what I am interested in, I want this entire Flutter project to be uploaded here on this repository I created. This is my repository. This is my username. And currently I don't have any file, right? So let's just do this. Okay. So first of all, I will initialize my Git here. This is the command to initialize Git. Okay. So now we have initialized it. Cool. Now I want this local repository, this Git Flutter, to be connected to my remote repository, that is final day drill. Okay. So for that, I will have to origin. I'll have to add an origin, a remote origin. Cool. I'll come back here. I'll paste it. and enter. Okay. Now I want all the files inside my current local directory to be uploaded on this remote directory online. Okay. So what I will do is I will git add dot. So dot technically means my current directory. Okay. And then I will git commit, add a message. Let's say some message is my message. Okay. Then I will git push. I will just push this entire thing into my version control system, into my remote repository. And that's final TechDrill. Okay. So I'll just type git push origin master. So now it's asking me to sign it up, right? I'll go over here and my authentication gets succeeded because I have already done it before. So in your case, it must ask for a green button to be authenticated. So that's fine. So now you can see all the contents have been uploaded. Where? Here. So to see the changes, I'll have to refresh the page. So let's just refresh this. And you can see entire Flutter project structure is visible here. Name of the project is there. We have a README file. So that's how you keep your things aligned with your source code when it's posted online. So was this too hard or too easy? Like, you can let me know. But this is the basic when you're going to work in any company where you'll be working with multiple developers, then you'll be working with multiple branches. Okay. So let me just show this README file. You can see the README file has Git Flutter here, right? So I will just come here. I will clear this up and I will open this entire code inside my VS Code. Okay. So yeah, now I have this opened up here. So let's just go to our README file here. So we have the name Git Flutter and we have it written here, right? Sorry. So let's just try to rename this and we will push these changes as well. Yeah, that's what I'm showing, Shubham. That's exactly what I'm showing. So you make a change here. Let's say I want to write here. Let's write here. Let's type a name of an actor I hate a lot. Okay. Tiger Straw. Okay. So I will save this. Okay. And I want these changes to be pushed. So what shall I do, right? So either I can open my terminal right here by here like this. Okay, so I have it opened up, right? So now I did some changes, right? So I have two options, whether I can do the same thing which I did in the past, or I want to make a change to a certain file only. Let's say I updated 7 files, okay? And I want to make change to 1. So let's just type git add dot. So dot will exactly look for changes, like what changes happened. And you can look at these changes right here. So you can see there is a M written here. M actually means for modified. Okay, that's great because Android Studio looks after the same case, right? Android Studio has its own signing mechanism. So whenever you do that, it actually does it for us by default. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, cool. So if I want to make any changes, so let's just git add dot, and so you can see whenever I add git add, so it just stages my changes. Staging is something where you are pushing your code on a large building's edge, okay? And that building's edge actually means, so I will just push it, then it will just go back to my GitHub servers, to my remote repository, okay? So I will just git commit and I will add some message updated worst actor, okay? And I will git push origin master, okay? So you can see my changes were pushed. So as soon as I'll reload this page, okay, you can see now it has been replaced with Tiger Straw. And the message it's totally visible here, updated worst actor, right? So this is how you make changes, okay? Is it fine? Varun, Rajiv, Shubham. Cool. So you can make the similar changes in your Dart files. If I have a Dart file opened up here, so this will work entirely the same for anything you edit or anything you do, right? Cool. So this is how you use your subversion systems. And also there's a cool plugin called Git Lens. Okay, you can just go over here inside VS Code. You can search for Git Lens. You can install it. So what Git Lens will do whenever you're editing your code, right? So you can just go over here and you can see it's showing me you, which means me. I edited this a minute ago and there was just one author who was editing it, and that was me. Okay. So when you're working on a system or a project where you have multiple developers, right? Then you can just this plugin is going to be very useful for you because this will exactly tell you like who edited what line and when. So this is a very good plugin. You can just search inside your GitHub plugin section and type Git Lens, and you'll be able to use it. Cool. Yeah, Rajiv, actually we are low on time and the VS Code process is really easy. Like yesterday what Vinu showed to us, right? Yeah. And actually I can make the same changes using VS Code as well because I have my Git assigned. Yeah. Bracket pair colorizer. It's also a good plugin. It actually just tells you like what are the scopes of a particular body. So it can be a body of a class, it can be a body of a function, it can be a body of any other thing which you are using, let's say in a JSON structure like this. So it will exactly tell me like when from where this begins and until this point it ends. So bracket pair colorizer is another good plugin. You can just go here. Yeah. So there are two. You can use anyone based upon the features it offers. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do send the extensions. Okay. And this is VS Code Liveshare. So this just allows you to share your code live with anyone with a single endpoint URL, and you can use it. It will open up inside your VS Code. Okay. Am I clear enough? Okay. Cool. So this is what we we learned just about how to use Git with Flutter, right? How to use Git with Flutter. Cool. Now, yeah, cool. So this just shows me which user is signed in currently. Okay. And if I just make any changes, then I can update them. Okay. And I'll just go over here. I will set them. I will stage them changes. And I will add a commit message. Let's say. And yeah. So it tells me that the commit has done. Okay, I'm not seeing any changes. Actually, I have not set it up correctly, right? So anyways, you know how to do that, right? I have to sync my VS Code with respect to the VCS I'm using. So that works fine for me. And so if you guys have any more doubts, any more things which you want to express, any more ways which you could have done this in an easier manner, and absolutely the easier way to go with is to just one single UI based VS Code extension. So VS Code also tells me like which branch I'm currently on, and you can see the branch currently here is master. Okay, and this just tells me to publish changes. Okay, cool. So you can see now shops is also visible. So that's how you do it. So those who wanted to know like how to proceed with VS Code changes, so it's very easy in that case. So let's say I want to type here Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, I will save this. I will go over here. I will click on this check mark, which means commit. I will say yes. Okay, cool. I will add a commit message. Leo. I'll press enter. Okay. And I'll publish the changes. Cool. So now I should see Leonardo DiCaprio. So this is the simplest way to go with. GUI commands, yeah, absolutely. It's very much time in, very much better way to go with. So you can choose anyone. What happens is I work on multiple Docker images when it comes to, because whenever I go and create microservice infrastructures, so I do need commands to be on my tips, right? I will not be able to open my VS Code everywhere possible. So whenever I'm doing some server side work or I'm creating some instance into my Google Cloud Console or AWS instance, EC2 instance, so in that case, I'll have to create multiple Docker images, multiple containers. So in that case, we have to write the entire commands in form of commands only. We cannot use GUI there. There are ways, but it takes time to set up. So yeah, commands are always the best way to go with, right? So that's why I wanted commands to be much solidified into your heads instead of GUI. Absolutely, Rajiv. Commands are universal. Cool. Okay. So our second chapter of today's last day is that we'll be discovering how to create your APK or how to create your build APK, right? So let's just try to run our own application, which was Shinchan application. Okay, so let's just go to desktop. I'll go inside Shinchan. I will go inside portfolio. Okay, and I will open my VS Code here. So I will just type code dot enter. Okay. Cool. So now let's just try to run this application. And I want this to be run in my Pixel 4 API level 29. So yeah, the device has loaded up. So let me just run this application. So we have not made any changes. We were just exploring as of now. But you guys have already created your own portfolios, and that's a very good plus point. That's what I wanted. Yeah. So this was the application, right? Now I want this application to be distributable. Distributable means I want the APK of this application. So what happens is the APK which is running inside this application. So we already have this APK inside our outputs folder. So to go there, you have to just go inside your build. You have to go inside, go inside your Android and just a minute. Let me just close them so that it looks much better. Okay. So this is your entire Flutter directory structure, right? Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Then we will be going inside our build folder. Inside build folder, we have app. Inside app, we have outputs. Inside outputs, we have Flutter APK. And you can see there are three files present here. Like this is the SHA1 key, which just identifies the authenticity of this file. And the entire licensing based authentication is done using this file. So we need not to touch this. And this is an app.apk file. This is an app debug file. So currently what you are seeing being run inside this emulator is this app-debug.apk. Okay. Let me just open this in my file explorer. by right clicking on it. Yeah. So you can see these are the two same applications, this app.apk and app-debug.apk. These are two same applications. And so we are running currently this, and this app.apk is actually which is being run inside this emulator, or what I want to distribute. Okay. So this is app-debug.apk and this is app.apk. So you can see the size of this is 50 MB. And that's very simple application, but the size is very high, right? So this is what happens normally is when you're debugging your application, Flutter adds multiple other components to run this code in a smooth manner. Okay. So this APK technically can be termed as a fat APK because it's heavier than a normal application, right? And given that a simple application like this where you just have a one image, few buttons, and one simple text. So this size is not justified. This is because this is a debug application. Okay, a debug application contains some extra components to let us allow to run this code much faster. Okay, so when you are working on Flutter, when you're creating animations, you'll be seeing that animations are running slow. So they will run slow when you are in debug, but when you're going to make a release of this application, things will run makhan. They will run so smoothly. There won't be any issue. Okay, so these are few differences between a debug application and an app release application. And there is third thing that's called an app bundle. It's called an app bundle. So when you're going to distribute your application on any platform, so in case of Android, it's Google Play. Okay, so when you want to put your application on Play Store, you have to use this another service called Google Play Console. Okay, and as Google Play Console will actually take up your APKs. So you have options to upload APKs and app bundles. Okay. So, but whenever you are going to distribute your application via Play Store, you should always keep in mind that you will always upload an app bundle. Okay. So now there are three things. First is debug application, second is release APK, and third is app bundle. Okay. So app bundle, what it will do, let's say I have this debug application, it's of 50 MB. I create a release application, it's of 23 MB. But I create a bundle, it is also of 23 MB. But when you will upload it on Play Console, so Play Console will actually segregate that bundle into multiple system architecture of phones. Because let's say OnePlus uses different system chip, different system architecture. Some uses ARM V7, some use ARM V8, some use x64, some use x66, x86, right? So depending upon the different architecture, app bundle assigns you different sizes. Okay. So if I have an application and the name of the application is WhatsApp, and if I go, yeah, Varun, actually, I will actually need a Play Console access to show you the entire thing. But I will build both of the things for you. First, I'll build a release APK, then I'll build an app bundle. But whenever an app bundle is uploaded on Play Store, it will show different sizes to different users. So if I open the same application in my Oppo phone, it will show me WhatsApp's size to be 21 MB. But if I open the same application inside my OnePlus phone, it may show me the size of the same application on the same version be 24 MB. So this entirely depends upon the system architecture of that particular phone. Okay. So like in Windows, you have two kinds of system architecture. First one is 32-bit, second is 64-bit, right? Similarly, when it comes to phones also have different architecture. Some has ARM V7, some has x86, some has x64 types of architectures. So based upon the architectures, the Play Console intelligently decides which kind of APK has to be given to this kind of phone. Am I making myself clear here? So that's the difference between an app bundle. So there was this application which I created. So it was of 21 MB. Okay. But when I distributed it, the app bundle of it, so it just came out to be 7 MB. So that's the difference between these three kind of things. Okay. So let me just create a release APK. So the command to make a release application is I can simply build an APK here. So I will just go to terminal. Okay, I will type Flutter build APK. This will literally give me the APK which I'm looking after. Okay, and it will be updated here. So you can see here it's app debug as of now. As soon as this process gets completed, this will get replaced with app something app release.apk, right? Let's just wait this thing to be, let's just wait it to be done. So yeah, any more questions, doubts, or something relevant you want to share? Okay, so you can see my APK has been built and it's inside my Flutter APK release.apk. So when I come to this file now, I have another file called app release.apk. So this is technically what I can use and share. And you can see the size of this is 16 MB and the size of debug was 50 MB. So that's the difference between the two versions, right? So app debug actually contains some extra components which just allows you to speed up our debugging process. Okay, and our app release APK actually contains something which is just required to just run anywhere, right? So that's what app release does. So these are two things, and the third thing is to create an app bundle. So what app bundle will do? App bundle will actually reduce this size into much smaller sizes. So if I install the application, the 16 MB application will actually be of 4 to 5 MB when it's uploaded in form of app bundle. Okay, so for that you actually need this service, this external component called Play Console. So Google Play Console is where it's the place where we launch our application on App Store. So this gives you the entire insights, like where your application was installed, what was the screen time of the user, how many times user closed the application, how many times user opened the application, what was the time spent, and on what component and on what screen user spent his time. So these entire things are available from Play Console. It tells you when your app crashed and on what device did it crash, and in what country did it crash, and what was the exact line of code which crashed it. So you can get these entire information from the Google Play Console. And if you have your Firebase connected to your application, then you can enable Firebase Analytics as well, which tells you entirely the same thing which Play Console offers. But Play Console has a larger set of things, better control over the files, right? When it comes to the application thing. So yeah, you have multiple ways to debug, to understand, to get the statistics. And this also tells you like how you can optimize your app usage. What's the time of the day when the users use your application the most? What's the what's the day in a week where users use your application the most? Okay, so you can get these entire information from Play Console. You just have to go to Play Console, create a Play Console account. So when you're going to create a Play Console account, it just asks you for like some fee. To release your application on Play Store, you need to give some fee, like a registration fee kind of thing. So it is something like 2100 or 2300, depending upon the cost of Indian rupee comparison between US dollars. So it is somewhere around 21 to 2200. You can publish application, but those applications has some policies to be followed up, Shubha. Yeah, $25. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, $25 something. Yeah. So this $25 something is the price of that, and this totally is lifetime. So once you purchase this, you can release unlimited application. But make sure that you do not do something illegal or something which is not correct, because then you may get blocked for your lifetime. Okay. So there is this thing that whenever you launch your application on Play Console, make sure you have a solid privacy policy for that. Okay. So there is this website called Privacy Policy Generator. Okay. So here, what you have to do, you have to just give your app name. Let's name this M&M. Okay. And for the contact, okay. Personally identify information like comma separated. So let's just type something. Hey, you, hi, anything like it's not important as of now. And I have to select an app type. So what's the app type of my application? So it's free, it's open source, it's premium, it's ad supported, whatever. So in my case, let's say it's ad supported. And I have to select the mobile operating system. So in my case, it's Android. And if it's for Android and iOS, then there is some different privacy policy you have to manage. So in my case, let's say it's Android. And I have to select like from which date I want it to be effective, like from today only. Okay. And the owner type is individual. I am an individual. I don't own a company as of now. I'll just click here. I'll type the developer name as, okay. Cool. Now I have to include the third-party services which I'm using. So in my case, I'm using, let's say, AdMob to show ads, analytics to show to get the analytics. I'm using Facebook to show Facebook ads. Okay, I'm using Unity to show Unity ads or something like that. Okay, so I'll just go forward. Okay, cool. So now I have the document ready. I just have click on privacy policy. And these are my privacy policy right here. So I will just copy this or convert them into Markdown and host them somewhere. You can host it on a website. You can host it via a Google Doc link. So mostly people actually what people do is they actually host it in a Google Doc file and they publish that file to web and then add that link inside the application. So that's a good way to go with. You just need accessible instantly. So that's why it's like, okay. So you have your privacy policy and you have your terms and condition. So both are here. And you can see it will give me the relevant information that Yash Pathak is committed to ensuring that the app is useful and efficient as possible. For that reason, we reserve the right to make changes. So it has added all the relevant details for me. Okay. And the M&M app stores and processes personal data that you have provided in order to provide such. So this is like exactly what you need for your privacy policy and terms and condition. Okay, you can read this up and you can just add these inside your Play console and your application as well instantly. And if you see that anything is out of line, and if you see like this thing should not be there, then you can obviously edit it from your end. But this will just give you the basic infrastructure, the basic framework kind of thing to go with, right? So you can just use this, and there are multiple other tools online you can use, right? I find this nice. I actually used it in one of my applications, and I had no issues until now. And it contained ads. Okay. So yeah, you can go over to GitHub and start the repository if you want. You can buy him a coffee or something. So it's actually a very good thing to give developers some credit or give them or tip them. I actually do that a lot. Okay, if someone has genuinely helped you and he has worked his guts off, and you should actually award him something if he has genuinely helped you, right? Cool. So this is how you create Release Apk. Okay, and so yeah, like on the Flutter website, we have so there are a few more things when you're going to release on Play Store. You need to have this. Actually contains all the things. So if you want to create a app bundle, you just have to go in here and type Flutter build app bundle. So this will build app bundle for you. App bundle is actually what you will be uploading on your Play console, so that users will get the specific information. So see, app release. Sorry, yeah. This is the app bundle we have. Okay. Yeah. So in outputs, we have Flutter APK, we have Release APK here. And if you want to go into bundle, then our bundle release is here. So bundle has a 16 MB size as well. But when it will be uploaded on Play Store, users will see variable sizes depending upon the architecture of their phone. Okay. So this 16 MB will actually get converted to 7 or 8 or 9 MB depending upon the architecture. So it's always good practice to use this. Okay. And its format is AAB, that is Android App Bundle. The extension, the file extension is AAB, right? So yeah, this was how you distribute your application. This was how you launch your application. Yeah, actually there's a key store file required, Varun. Like you can see here, a key store file is something that actually lets you know, it gives you some basic information. There are a few files like key.properties. Okay. So you have to actually add a key store. A key store is something like it's used for validity, the validity from which, from what machine this software was created, from what machine this APK was created, and what were the credentials, what was the authentication source, what was the passwords. So that all. So that's just one thing you can just take care. And I would rather suggest you that you can go and follow these commands. So if you are on Mac, you just have to copy this. And again, you can see here is an RSA algorithm active. Likewise, like we had an RSA assigned for our SSH keys, right? Similarly, for generating key store 2, we have an RSA algorithm being used. So these are few algorithms which people use, like RSA, SHA, okay? And there will be a key.jks file which you will be keeping inside your laptop, and you will be copying the contents of it into key.properties file likewise. So it's not that hard to do, okay? You have to just go inside your app directory, you have to go inside Android folder, you have to create a key.properties file, that's all. And you're good to go. Then you have to sign your APK. Okay. So this actually contains a few more detailed analysis of how to release application. But I don't have an active Play Console account, so yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Any more things which you want to share? Any more base like what do you think about the delivery? Like the content which I'm delivering, is it okay? Is it fine? Is it perfect? Is it very bad, or am I going too fast? Thank you so much, Rajiv. Thank you. This makes me happy. Thank you, Vinu. Thank you. So yeah, so this was all. So now what we have is that I will actually show you one important thing. I'll present a tab and share now. I will go over here. Okay, so I'm very thankful first of all. So these are few things you have to do. So like we discussed this portfolio application, right? So you might have created a portfolio application or you might have created something else. It doesn't matter. I just want you people to make something to let me know, to let people know, to let Shubham know, to let Rajiv know, to let Vinu know that you people learned something. Okay. I want you all to showcase your skills inside the Discord server or anywhere on Twitter. You can just type hashtag TechDrill and tag GDJ Jalandhar. Okay. So that's what you can do. And it's really important because there is this amazing thing in field of thermodynamics. It's called entropy. Okay. So let's say if I'm swaying my hand in the air right now, so I'm creating some entropy, even though my hand is not doing anything, but still I am increasing the entropy of this universe around me, right? So similarly, whatever you are making, whatever you're creating, you have to increase or decrease or just alter the entropy of this universe. So when you do that, you actually just push some particles around you and you create a dent. Like people say na ki make a dent in the universe, that's what you're doing. So making efforts, putting efforts is really important. To just put efforts, create something, do something, even if that thing is perfectly easy, you can do it in like 1 minute or 2 minutes. It's all right. Just do it for the sake of doing it. Okay. And I would like to see some projects like a demo video, an APK file, a GitHub repo. So you already now understand like how to proceed with the GitHub thing. Okay, GitHub is perfectly fine, and always upload your APK file on a place where I can access it. So if you are uploading it on Google Drive, then make sure that the URL is visible to me. Okay, it will work even in viewer mode, so not an issue. And a demo video will work. So if you have your phone recorder, you can just record that video and put the same video inside the same Google Drive folder where you're keeping the APK file. Okay, and if you have any issue, you can absolutely reach me out. And the submission form will be shared on 4th of April in the Discord server. So it doesn't matter if you make portfolio. If you created anything else, then also you can share it out, right? So any more things which we can discuss upon and anything else?